students. Good morning. So this is the first session we are going to have on operations management in your new semester, right? This is second year first semester. So we have some other subjects also. Together with that, you have operations management subject as well. For this exemption group, I think this is the third exemption group that I am conducting this lecture. So my experience is that compared to the normal batch, you have some industry experience. Am I correct? So I am already working the industry probably in the field of audit firms. So all of you are coming from audit firms? No. You are from? EY. So in addition to auditing, what else they do? Counting other services they provide, and then EY, DMI, right? Okay, that's all. Okay. And you are from same organization, and parallel you are completing your chartered accountancy from Colombo as well. How about you? Okay. What made you study auditing or accounting field? Right. So you're into freight forwarding, shipping operations. How about you?
I am organizing as an accountant.
As an accountant, right? So most of you are coming from a background of accounting, auditing, right? And some of others they from financial services. I don't know about others who are doing online. So I will try my level best to help you understanding our subject, that is operations management. By any chance, have you got an opportunity to study this area of the operations management before as a subject? No. So then having a very clear basic idea is important to begin with. Otherwise, you don't get it. Right. So now in business education, like a business degree, you are specializing in accounting, applied accounting. You are completing a business degree, right? Where we study how businesses should be designed, should be managed, right? And for that, various different business functions and how these functional areas are arranged and organized and managed, that is what we study. So far you have covered areas like finance, financial management. Have you completed that topic? Have you completed that subject? No, not yet. So you have not completed financial management. How about marketing? Marketing management. Okay, you have completed marketing management, so that we have a kind of idea what marketing is supposed to do in a business. Is that? Okay. What are the other departments? What are the other functional areas that you have studied about? Have you completed the subject on HRA? Okay, because your exemption group is that the reason. Is that the reason exemption group students they don't study HRA? Parallelly, you are having HRA as well. Not yet, but you are going to study it. Have they started the lectures? No. From next week. Okay, let's see. Now, in addition to this, right, there can be, in addition to finance, there can be accounting, right? So, to get those separately, right? So, I think you have completed 1 or 2 modules on accounting, have you? Right. Basic accounting, advanced accounting, accounting practices and all, including costing and auditing, right? So, some extent we are specializing on that. In the same manner, we have this department in most of the businesses. In manufacturing industries, Hello? Good morning. In manufacturing industry, what I mean by manufacturing? What I mean by manufacturing industries? Industries where they produce products, right? So in manufacturing industries, this is known as production management or simply manufacturing management. The area that we are going to study is known as production management or manufacturing management in manufacturing industries. But in addition to manufacturing industries, there are other industries, we call them service industries. So, service industries are. So, we don't call production or manufacturing, including how service is created and delivered and all. So, we call it operations. And even for manufacturing industries, we can consider, we call it now operations. Is that clear? So, in both service industries and manufacturing industries, we have this department called operations department, operations function. They have a particular responsibility. They have a lot of decisions to make, like marketing managers, marketing people make marketing decisions on behalf of the business. So as finance and accounting, they make financial and accounting decisions on behalf of the business. We will later study HR managers, HR function, make HR decisions on behalf of the business. In the same manner, operations function, operations managers are responsible for making operations decisions on behalf of the business. So, I hope that is clear. In our subject, we are going to study how these managers, who they are, operations managers in a business. Whether that is manufacturing or service, there are operations management. So they are supposed to make operations management decisions. This is a very interesting subject, very practical. Although you are not going to become operations managers one day, right? To practice as accountants, to practice as auditors, to perform as finance managers sometimes, or senior managers one day. You need to have operations management knowledge, understanding. That is why this subject is useful in business education. Whenever you complete a business degree, you need to have a subject on operations management. That you will understand today itself. When we move forward. Is that clear? Now the question is then, what we are supposed to study in operations management? What we are supposed to study in operations management? To get an idea, we have this first topic where we identify what is operations management, what they are supposed to decide, how they should perform their responsibilities. So that is introduction to operations management. As you see in slide number 2, these are the key learning outcomes set for the first topic. At the end of this discussion, you should be able to do these things. Can I do that on behalf of you? No, I can't. What I can do is I can explain, give you more details, examples. So you should process things in your mind and see what we have seen in the industry, different organizations. Maybe you as customers, you have visited different places. So you can relate what you know about operations, what you know about operations managers, and think and get an idea. And then you should be able to do these things. Define operations management, what it is, and identify the scope of this subject, and then also describe the importance of operations management decisions, operations management function in business organization. And the main part of our discussion will be on this second learning outcome, that is to identify and explain in little detail. We won't be able to discuss everything in detail in the first lecture. So we'll try to get an overall idea. So what are the main operations management decisions? What are the key activities? What are the key responsibilities of operations managers in both manufacturing industries as well as service organizations? So that is the main part of it. In addition to that, to study operations management in a systematic manner, in an organized manner, it's important to have some framework, some theory, right? So there is this simple framework, we call it transformation process model, that helps us understanding what we mean by an operation system. What are the components of an operation system? So that we can apply it in different organizations, different industries, and see how an operation system operates. You will understand what I mean by operation system later. Now, you're familiar with operation systems, like in a computer there is an operation system. This is nothing to do with that. Right? Within an organization, to manage operations, we have an operation system. So theoretically, we try to understand what are the key components, how it operates, so that helps us understanding any business, understanding operations of any business. So that is what we do. So these are the key learning outcomes set for the first one. Is that clear? With that brief introduction, we can move to our subject and try to understand what operations management is all about. By the way, I don't think this term is not new to you, because we use this term operations everywhere, isn't so? We have different meanings for this. Operations. What are the different meanings you have there? Where you use this term? Operations. Where have you used this term? You should have some idea. Maybe in work field, there are different operations going on, right? Operation X, Operation Theta, different operations. That is in work field. That is something else. And at the same time, at hospitals, surgery theaters, there are operations thing. That's also different. Right? Well, those are also operations. But here in these business organizations, in business education, business management, operations means set of activities there, set of procedures. For what? For what operations are used in businesses? Hello? Mainly in manufacturing, produce products. Operations are used to produce products. So how about services? In service industries, operations are used to create and also deliver services. Isn't so? So interestingly, we are going to study how in manufacturing industries they produce products, and for that what resources are used, how the resources are organized and managed, right? What technologies are used, what key decisions are made to produce products efficiently and effectively. So you may have visited some manufacturing organizations like garment factories. Have you? By any chance? Now, when you are studying business management, you should start visiting organizations. Maybe as auditors, you may get the opportunity to visit different clients. Make use of that opportunity, right? And study how these operations are taken place there. So in a garment factory, if you have been to, so depending on the scale, how they do it could be different. But there are different production departments, cutting to sewing to finish into, right, package into, right, different sections. And then using different technologies, work staff and machines, production lines, they produce products. Have you seen? Those are the projects. At least you may have visited tea factories to see how bulk tea is produced from tea leaves. Have you seen? That is production. We are going to study about that. If you have been to a confectionery industry like biscuits factories, Eleven, CPL, or whatever, you may have seen how different production processes, machines, and the operating level staff are used to produce variety of biscuits there. Different tastes and quality maintained at certain level. And volume, the output levels are different. So, producing products through operations. Is that clear? I hope so. Write it down so that we can move forward. Right. So, in manufacturing industries, operations are used to produce products. So, in industries like garment industry, apparel industry, tea factories, or biscuits factories, different technologies are used, production lines are used, machines are used, operating level staff is used for producing products efficiently and effectively. At the same time, in service industries, what are the service industries? What they produce? Services mainly. And we will discuss in detail later, but the main difference is products are tangible most of the time, right? Whereas services are, most of the services are intangible, right? Like education in education institutes like universities, I try to secondary education, schools and all, services. Banks, services. Hospitals, services. Restaurants, hotels, they are services. Airline services, or any other passenger transportation, services. Courier services, hello? Courier and, not the courier service, right? That's also service, but you are working for shipping lines, freight forwarding services. So their operations are different. But still, what they do, create the service and deliver through operations. So that is the main point. Create the services and deliver. Good morning. We start and quickly join. morning. You were supposed to start 8, right? Right. We have started the subject, that is operations management, and we try to understand what it is. Right? Operations management. Operations side of the business, that is to produce products. In services, that is to create and deliver services. I mean, get your friends support, you will understand it. Now, when we study this as a subject area, we call it operations management. Operations management is a broad area, and there are many topics, there are many theoretical concepts to discuss here. So that area is called operations management. To get an idea what it is, I have given you 2 definitions. Now, when you go through these 2, you will get a sense, you will get a simple idea what operations management is all about. Like marketing management, HR management, financial management, we have operations management in businesses. In business education, we have this subject. Now, broadly, operations management is defined as this. There are different definitions. You may see the similar concepts here. When you go through the first definition, operations management can be defined as the systematic design of processes. Design of processes that transform operations inputs into operations outputs like products or services to supply to customers, could be internal customers or external customers, as you see. So operations management is all about designing of processes and directing and controlling them for converting or transforming operations inputs into outputs, products and services, same to the customers. In the second definition, more or less the same idea, operations management is a comprehensive field of management that involves in designing operations processes, operations systems. Instead of processes here, they have used the term processes, both the same. Whether that is operations processes, operations system, what we mean is same. Right? So operations systems that create firms, products or services effectively. So in addition to design, they are also responsible for operating the operation system and controlling it. And also improvements, making improvements. Can you understand it? So it is, in this subject we study about processes or what we call operation systems. In both manufacturing and service industries. Clearly understand this, otherwise you don't get the other content, right? Especially you are specializing in accounting, auditing, and coming from the same background, so some of these ideas may not come to you. So understand in operations what we study, processes and operation systems used for producing products. In service industry, create and deliver services. And what is operations management? Designing such processes appropriately. Can you understand? How it happens is different. How we discuss manufacturing, like CPL, their operation system, how that is arranged, and how in tire manufacturing, tire production system, tire manufacturing system is arranged, that is It's totally different, right? Because technologies are different, production steps are different, materials, components, and other things they use for that is different. Can you understand it? And that is totally different when it comes to banks. Because banks, what service they offer, what technology they use, what facilities they use, how they maintain operate, that is different, right? Hope you can understand. So that is why, so how it happens in different industries, that is different. So designing operation system according to the industry requirements, according to the business requirement, that comes under operations management. Main part of operations management. Then operations managers are responsible for operating the system for day-to-day purposes, for medium-term purposes, and thereby produce products. Meantime, controlling it in the sense now there can be some deviations. They have production targets, plans, and all. Production will take place, right? There can be deviations. So controlling it to get the results they want. So this is the main part of operations management. And in fact, design decisions are long-term decisions. Once you make, you continue for certain time. Whereas operational and controlling decisions are on day-to-day basis. Every day, every week, they do that. Can you understand? When you go to a factory, garment factory, biscuits factory, tire factory, on day-to-day basis, what operations managers are doing? Operating it and controlling it, meeting the production targets, delivering things. That is all. So in our subject, we will study about this, but mostly about design decisions, because there are few areas that operations managers should make clear decisions about their technology, about the products, about the production processes, about quality systems, about work systems, anything. So that is it. I hope that is clear. Any quick questions? Do you think this subject will be interesting? We have not studied. This will be a cognitive area, especially for management students. This is somewhat technical, but interesting and practical. You should have that understanding. And at the same time, let me highlight this. In addition to these two, it involves in this as what we call improvements. It involves in making improvements to operation system as well. Designing, operating and controlling, plus making improvements. Making improvements to the processes, to the operation systems. What kind of improvements they talk about here? Hello? What kind of improvements? What are the common operation improvements needed in this? Any cases? Any ideas? Especially exception groups, they are very active in the class, and they are free to share their opinions, their experiences. So, what would be the improvements they talk about here? Operations improvements. There are few areas like what? Of course, quality. Quality is one main improvement area. Quality of the products, quality of the services, quality of the processes. So quality improvements. Time to time, because quality standards, quality requirements are upgrading day by day. New rules, regulations are introduced. New standards are set. Simple. Customers also expect better things, higher quality. So organizations, and on behalf of the organization, operations managers, responsible for improvements. Quality. Quality improvements. Very good. What are the other improvements? What are the other key improvements that you think relevant for operators? Process improvements, of course. Process improvements, right? So instead of very old conventional processes, upgrade the process so that they can produce better quality, higher volume, right? And many advantages there. So process improvements. What else? What are the other improvements? Hello? Pardon me? Uh, Different features are product improvements, of course. Yeah. Product improvements. Existing products with newer features, newer characteristics and all true. And in addition to that, sometimes new products. Very good. Right? Product improvements. Innovative products. So that customers will be delighted to buy them. Great. Product improvements. In addition to product process improvements. Great. Innovation. Innovative products. What else? There can be few others. Technology. Great. That is one of the main improvements. Technology. Technology improvements are needed. Time to time. Right now, everyone is now talking about digitalization, digital solutions, online, system-based operations. And now, moving ahead, they're talking about artificial intelligence and everything. So, how such technologies can be introduced to different industries and to make the processes more technologically advanced? Great. Who are responsible for that? Operations managers in the field. For example, say now, when you were children, right? So, how banks were operating and then type of services, solutions they provided to customers, the technology they used at the beginning of 20th century. You may remember, right? But during the last 2 decades, how things have been changed. I think you are from 90s, right? Am I correct? 20s? After 2000? After 2000? Is that so? Then I am very old then. Right? I am very old. Anyway, so during the last 2 decades or so, things have been changed drastically in terms of technology. Because of internet, IT developments, and then of course software solutions, right? And process automation, right? Telebanking, app-based operation. Can you understand it? So things have been changed. So technology improvements. And more importantly, due to all these things, this is another area that, in operations we expect. What is it? Cost efficiencies. Producing at low cost. How to reduce operating cost. So there are various areas, there are many. So not only to design the operation system and operate and control, they are also responsible for bringing necessary improvements to their operation systems in terms of quality, process, products, technology, cost improvements, and various. So this is the area we are going to talk about. Their decisions, how they should make such. Any quick questions? Something that is not clear? Yeah, please. Have you studied this subject before? No. Anything that is not clear? So operations are aimed at producing and delivering products to customers. Could be external customers. Who we call external customers? Outside the organization. Right? It could be end customers or some other business. Now, assume fabric manufacturers producing fabric as the output. And that is an input for garments. So the external customer would be the garment factories. So garment factories, they produce garment items, apparel. And their end product, that is apparel, that is for their users, customers. So initially, brand or the companies will purchase, they have their clients are companies, and those companies will sell their products to the end customers. Those are the external customers. Who we call internal customers here in operations? Within the organization, there can be different production steps. If you take the same example like apparel, right? Now let's say cutting department. Within the cutting department, they have operations. Their output after cutting into designs, that is used in the sewing section as the input. So they are internal customers. Can you understand it? So likewise, in the production process, there can be different steps. So each step, each department could be internal customers in that sense. Understand it? So for internal customers as well as for external customers, producing and delivering product is what we do in operations management. Clear? These two are also important because in managing operations, these are the main targets. What are those things? Maintaining higher effectiveness and higher efficiency, or what we call productivity. Productivity. Those are common terms. Go talk to operations managers, talk to operations executives, production executives, and all the time they talk about these words, these terms: productivity, efficiency, higher utilization, right? Like accountants talk every time. Your main terms. Auditors are not very good at that. Hello? Controls, whether they follow the internal control procedures and all. That is what you are talking about. So in the same manner, operations managers and all, they every time worry about high productivity, high efficiency, how to eliminate the waste, how to improve the performance, how to improve the utilization. Right? So those are the key targets, key terms. So produce products in an efficient and effective manner. So higher productivity levels. That is important. Any feedback? I will explain those terms later, but for the time being, I'll just introduce those terms. Then in slide number 4, as I already explained to you, so the operations now we consider, but in manufacturing industries that is considered as manufacturing related activities or production related activities. This is one of the primary business function in any business. Primary in the sense, without operations, no business. That is true for manufacturing, that is for services, including audit firms, accounting firms. Without operations, there is no business. operations, it's through operations, organizations or businesses in this case, create value, add value, which is the most important part of business. So this, what do you know about it? Value creation, value addition. So value creation, that is what operations do. Value addition, value creation in a business. And as you see here, operations is the central mechanism for that. Central are the main mechanism, main way of adding value. That means there can be other processes also, other departments, other functional areas also involved in value addition, value creation. But what is the main mechanism? Operations. It's through operations, value being created mostly. Now, value, what is that? Value. Now, in business management, this term is used for different purposes. Even finance managers and all finance experts and accountants, they talk about something called wealth maximization for shareholders and all. So value, they are the main value they try to maximize is wealth maximization. Customer and in marketing, what they try to maximize? Customer satisfaction. Right? And through customer satisfaction, they try to generate more profits, bring more revenue, and they generate more profits. Right? But it's a very old idea. Right? Through business, what we try to do is we try to create value and deliver value. Create and deliver more value operations. Hello, we have started the subject. This is operations management, right? So you will get the support of your friends. So we try to understand what it is. We have a definition for this. You can go to the recorded lecture, right? And now we try to understand what operations is supposed to do. So we expect value creation and value addition. Now, say one example. If I continue the same example like apparel manufacturing, if I've been to a factory like MA's, Brandix or Hydramani, you may have seen there are different production steps within the factory. Each step, they add value to the product. At the end of the process, you get the finished product. So the simple idea is that the value of the final product, the usefulness, the value of the final product is greater. Value of the product is greater than cost of the components. Value of the final product is much more greater than the cost of the components we use for that. So from where that additional value has come? Through operations. When components are converted into outputs, that value has been added. Value comes through operations. So that is called value addition. Is that important for a business? Is that important for a business? Oh, yes. Higher the value they add, they can set the premium prices or better prices and expect more revenue so that higher profitability. So other competing organizations, they also produce products. Customers would prefer products with higher value, more features, higher quality, right? so that you can expect higher revenue and higher profitability because of higher value you create. So that is why operations are important. Understand it? So we study in our subject how businesses can create value, add value through their operations. Through their operations. So higher value, lower cost. It's a winning formula. Business can compete better with other firms and be successful. Higher value at low cost, I mean appropriate cost. Through higher efficiency, higher productivity. That is the target. Now, let me explain this also, right? Now, through operations, we add value in businesses. What are the other processes? What are the other activities that we can use to add value in business? Is that only through operations? No. So what are the other sources of value addition? Hello? What are the other business activities, business functions that involves in value addition? What do you think? Through after sales services, of course, we can add value. Yes. Not just necessarily through the product. Yes, after sales services add value. Great. After sales services. Like repairs, spare parts availability, warranty, like all these are adding value. Great. What else? Payment terms and all at the sales stage, right? Using more convenient payment options and all, right? Maybe part payments, and then of course installment payments and all, credit terms and all. Through that also businesses can add value to the product or service you sell, right? Through uh, payment terms, let's say, like payment terms and all. So at the point of sales and after sales, we can add value. And then we understood through the process operations, we can add value. Right. Operations, we can add value mainly. What are the other things that you think? There are a few more processes. Through delivery, right? After selling home, maybe free deliveries and all the other activities, add value through. There are a few more, right? Through marketing, can businesses add value? Do you think so? Of course, yes. And that is what I was expecting. Right? Don't underestimate. So, in addition to operations, it is through marketing. Because if you understand what marketing is, you will understand that through marketing, value being added. Right? So it's not only through operations, through marketing. Labeling, packaging, branding, especially through branding. Now the same product, right? When that is offered with a different package, different branding efforts, customers consider them as high value if they are successful in it. So through marketing, of course, we can add value. Normal herbal products, available at lower prices. Sparsiron herbal products, solutions. They branded them differently, marketed them differently, so they have added value tremendously than the other. Can you understand it? Marketing can do wonders. Use appropriate. So marketing is another main way of adding value. Through advertising can add value. So positioning. What we have studied, value. Yeah. Not only from operation, but operations is the main mechanism. Understood it? Great. So we try to understand how this basic value, the primary value, can be added through operations in our subject. Because to market, we need to have products, we need to have process services. We are studying about it. Now, this as a subject has been developed based on various subjects, especially in industrial engineering, physical science, and various other engineering subjects have contributed initially. Then, of course, economics and management from the beginning, management subject. So it's a combination of all these now. So we will have different topics, different areas in our subject that comes from different areas. I hope that is clear. During the last few decades, especially technology and then IT and statistics and analytics have contributed to this subject a lot. Now, simple idea, our subject, operations management, is a combination of these areas. But what is the main core? That is engineering, industrial engineering, physics and all, but we are not going to discuss about them here because we are studying it from operations, from management side. So we try to understand it only from management side, not from the technical core. Engineering, physical science, chemistry, science background, no. But operations management in different industries depends on these core subjects. Several example now, automobile manufacturers like Toyota, Honda, right? So their operations are mainly based on automotive technology, industrial engineering in that field. Hope you can understand. But we try to understand it from the management side. Any questions? So we are studying operations management. Those are the responsibilities of operations managers. So understanding now whom we call operations managers. Like in organization, we have marketing managers, we have finance managers, senior accountants, and all that. So like in the same way, we have operations managers. They are the managerial staff of operations, responsible for operations. Like for any other management function, here also we can have different layers. Like the top level managers, corporate operations managers, and middle level and in your experience, what are the common job titles in different industries? Different titles can be given, right? So, what are the common job titles of managerial staff at top level? Corporate level operations managers. Pardon me? Hello? CEO. Okay. Now, CEO kind of positions. CEO. chief executive officers and all. Fair enough, true, we can accept it, but not only for operations, CEOs are responsible for overall performance. They supervise all the functions. So in that case, they are also responsible for operations. True. That should be very nice. So anyway, what I was telling, CEOs, right? CEOs are responsible for the overall performance. So not necessarily, but still they look after, they supervise the operations department. Yes, and even managing director, right? The same kind of responsibility, managing director training. The director, managing director, also responsible for the overall performance, so that they look after they supervise the operations function also. But who are the main responsible top level operations management positions? In different industries, have you heard of it? What corporate managers? There can be positions like head of operations, group director operations, right? They are responsible. And mostly in manufacturing industries, there are positions we call them COOs. Stands for Chief Operating Officer, especially in manufacturing industries. So that is the, I mean, in addition to head of operations, group director operations kind of position. So COO is one of the highest positions, mainly responsible for operations performance. Chief Operating Officer. Under their supervision, under their guidance, there is a second layer, middle level. What are the common job titles for managers at the middle level? So, now this is where you use your experience, your understanding. Right? What are the middle level questions? What are the middle level questions? That could be simply operations managers or factory managers or plant managers, what they call it. Plant managers. Production manager. So those are middle level positions. In fact, even we can consider assistant production manager also there under the supervision of production manager, factory manager, operations manager. Assistant managers are also at the middle level. So they make decisions under the guidance of top level. Depending on the industry, different titles can be there. Now, for example, in service industry, these names are not used. There is an operations manager, let's say, at a hotel or at a hospital, there is an operations manager, but their responsibilities are very limited. There are other managers who are managing other operations. Have you seen that? Maybe, let's say, for example, in a well-established hotel, right? So, there can be a position called operations manager, but most of the other operations are managed by other managers, like food and beverage manager, that side of it. Housekeeping, the management portion will that, then admin and right. So housekeeping, reservations and bookings by separate manager. So property maintenance and all, some other managers. Can you understand it? In services, this is different. Most of you are coming from service industry, so understand it. Lower level management. Operations, lower level management. They are under the guidance of middle level management. They are the ones who practically implement the decision and the flow and work with low level factory workers, low level operations workers, right, and get the things done from them. Like what? Supervisors, yes, supervisors, operations, production supervisors, What else? What are the other titles? Production executives. Right. So they are mainly responsible for getting things done from the workers. Implement the strategies, decisions coming from the top. There can be sometimes team leaders, because sometimes operations are as teams. Like in audits, you have for each audit project, audit engagement you get, you have a supervisor, audit supervisor. Under the supervision, the staff is doing it. Audit supervisor, kind of lower level management position. But audit manager at the middle level, and partners at the top. So these are the operations managers. So we study about them, their decisions, how to make their decisions and all, what concepts to use, what theory to use and all. So in your understanding, we mostly study about what level of managers, top level operations managers, middle level managers or lower level in this subject. We are going to study mostly about the middle level operations managers and their responsibilities and how they should make decisions and all. Middle level. At the same time, we will touch upon the top level operations decisions, because design decisions we are going to talk about. They should be, top level should involve. So we are going to mostly talk about middle level operations management responsibilities and some amount of top level. Before going for a small break, let me introduce you some of the key operations management activities, responsibilities. No need to say, I think you understand. From industry to industry, organization to organization, what operations managers are supposed to do is different. Right? But in general, we identify these as operations management responsibilities. They are responsible for making most of these decisions, plus some more. See, whether you can understand. Responsible for bringing technologies, introducing new technologies and new operations methods, techniques. They are responsible for specifying strategies, operations, and they are responsible for implementing it. Aligning with the strategy, making other decisions like designing products, decide services if they are coming from service industry. They should involve in decision making like facility location, where to locate factories and other operations facilities, deciding capacity requirements, long term, and making capacity adjustments as required, ensure higher capacity utilization, space utilization, work on improving response time, higher efficiency, while optimizing cost. Can you understand? So there are many responsibilities assigned to operations managers. Working on enhancing productivity, ensuring quality, and involved in production planning, resource planning, production scheduling, making decisions on requirements planning, and arranging the required resources and all, and managing inventories, providing customer service and improving, and for the work systems, developing people, developing teams, developing work systems, and many decisions. Can you understand? Those are the key decisions, key responsibilities. And then, of course, maintaining operations resources and many other managing improvement and other decisions. Now, those are the key decisions. I'm not going to explain things here. You know why? We are going to take these as different topics in our subject and discuss one at a time. So if you go to the course outline of our subject, operations management, hope you can see it here. So these are the different topics we are going to cover. Can you see? So those are the decisions we identified, right? Most of these decisions. So after getting the introduction done, we will go through these different topics. So I hope this overall understanding is enough for the time. Let's discuss this later. Is that clear? Let's go for a small break. Some might have missed your breakfast. Okay, it's 9:45. How? I mean, at what time you are going to come back? 10. You want to come? No. Everyone is here, right? One or two come, right? So the next lecture will be starting from 12. 3 lectures. I will explain you more about the assignment and all next week when we meet. Okay, let's try to complete this topic, right? To get a idea. Now, as I told you, we try to study about the responsibilities of operations. And those core responsibilities are like this. There are many, but in your course outline, these are the key topics we have. That is also at basic level because this is a basic degree. After that, at your master's or when you do for masters, you will learn things in detail. We try to get a simple idea. Now, in addition to this, now as we identified here, anyway, do you have any quick questions to ask about these topics or these areas? Something to know? Until we discuss things in detail, a quick questions? No? By any chance, have you studied some of these decisions, some of these topics under any other subject? Have you? Right. These are the main topics we cover. So your assignment will be based on one of these topics, and later I will decide what to do with the other assignment. So this is what we identified. Right now, as you understood at the beginning, so these are some of the key operations management responsibilities. Are they challenging? Are they challenging decisions for operations managers in today's context? Yes, to a great extent, yes, they are challenging because things are getting changed faster. Technology, customer requirements, competitors, industrial regulations, everything is getting changed faster. So that operations managers, we just started joining. So operations managers facing a lot of challenges when making those decisions and implementing them. The real nature of it is much more complicated. Now, as you see here, right, so how operations managers are supposed to work. Now, it's all about managing the operations function, right? So, operations managers are responsible for managing the operations department, operations function, and for that making these decisions as I identified. Now, the real challenge is not only managing the internal decisions, they are supposed to work with other departments also. Hope you can understand. That is even challenging, even more challenging. Like they need to work with marketing, they need to work with product development, and jointly make decisions appropriately to face the competition, take the business forward. Hope you can understand. And at the same time, they need to work with finance and accounting to get things done. So most of the new investments in a business, like finance managers are evaluating different projects, allocate funds for them. So most of the projects are coming from where? If you think of manufacturing industry, most of new investments coming from where? What do you think? Common factories, they have one factory, one production line. Of course, they get new proposals for new production lines, new factories, new machinery, more workforce. Can you understand? So most of those investments requirements, fund requirements coming from finance, operations department. Right? So as services, we understand it. So and most of these financial transactions, bookkeeping, record keeping, and everything coming from where? Materials purchases, machine purchases, various different payments, logistics, transportation, labor charges. Most of things coming from at least 60 to 70% of expenses coming from. Can you understand? So they need to cordially work with accounting, finance, and also with IT, and also with HR. Hope you can understand. So that is the real challenge for operations management. Not only managing internal activities, but also manage the interface with other departments. Clear? So that is the challenge. Now, coming to the current situation, things have been changed drastically. Initially, now this picture and the slide I have taken from a textbook that shows how operations management focus has been changed. Now, according to this, the initial focus has been the cost. Even today, there is a focus. And we try to manage operations while optimizing the cost efficiently, effectively, right? So the cost focus is even relevant to date in any industry. What we mean by cost focus? Higher productivity, higher efficiency, low cost. And for that, various different operations management concepts. But the industries have been changed. Now there are many different focuses, especially somewhere in 90s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 20th century. Right? So there has been a growing concern. There has been a concern on quality in addition to cost. And for that, various different operations management techniques, methods, practices, right? So things like TQMNO and many other techniques. Operations managers are now responsible for bringing such changes also quickly, not only cost but quality also. During the latter part of 20th century, 1980s, especially 90s, right? And then 21st century onwards, there are a lot of technology improvements. Right? So most of the concepts there, right, technology concepts. Now they consider it as customization focus. How to provide customized solutions, develop markets, competitive industry, that has been the focus. So even companies in Sri Lanka now they are to follow these trends. So adopting the new technology developments in operations and provide more customized solutions. Beyond that, the current period is known as globalization focus, connecting with various different suppliers and businesses outside the country, and together produce and deliver and supply to the global supply network. Can you understand? So not only within the organization, but suppliers from different continents. Customers are in some other continents. Managing operations has become important. Can you understand it? So not just making operations decisions within the organization, but connected to the industry. Real challenge. Can you understand it? So accordingly, you see in this slide number 10, what are the main business environmental changes that has happened in the market now during the last 3 to 4 decades? Just quickly go through whether you can get an idea. So what are the main changes that has happened? So many changes like increased cost-based competition. Everyone is trying to produce at low cost, so that no company can leave alone. Everyone should try. Even audit firms, right? If you take audit firms, that's also a kind of business that has operations. So compared to good old days, can they just ignore the cost part of it? No, they need to minimize the cost by doing a better service. So managing operations has been always challenging. So as for hospitals, so as for production companies, so as for airlines. Hope you can understand. The other changes, quickly go through, check whether you can understand. Feel free to ask some questions if you don't understand some changes here. You need to go through and ask some questions. Look at those key environmental changes. Can you understand them? Any issues? I can explain anything if you need more details. Is it clear? Different challenges, environmental changes, like higher quality expectations. Even in a country like Sri Lanka, now Sri Lanka is a small market. They have limited customers, and their expectations, their preferences are very limited. Are they demanding Sri Lankan customers? Well, to a great extent, they are not so demanding, right? Am I true? Am I wrong? You think we are demanding? In case if you are given poor quality products, are we bother much about it? No. Go to other markets, competitive markets outside Sri Lanka, right? They don't accept the poor quality products or services that they don't happy. Right? But here in Sri Lanka, more or less, we have a 50 to 60%, 50 to 60% of what we call price conscious consumers, price conscious customers. That is why most of the businesses, most of the industries, they try to cater this market. In any industry, there are 50 to 60% price conscious, which means they only look for low cost. So lower, I mean, low level markets, lower end and middle end. The middle part of it. Basically price conscious when it comes to consumer products. They are happy with whatever the low cost products. Only a small percentage, maybe around 5 to 12%, right? At the end, that's your high-end customers, right? They would be looking for better quality, better customer service, reliability, right? Warranty and everything, which is high quality, right? So that is the high-end they demand. They demand for the best. Am I true? So most of the businesses are successful here still because customers are not so demanding. Competition is low. There are only few competitors in most of the industries. The industry is to success, there should be a competition. Then they will have to fight with each other to attract more customers. Right? So they will have to work on technology, they will have to work on their product improvements, they will have to work on their quality, they will have to work on their customer service and offer better things. Can you understand? Since we have relatively low competition here, businesses are still comfortably managing their businesses here. But we need to be, we need to understand the trend is more competition, right? More competition in all fronts, cost, quality, technology, customer service, everywhere. So businesses should work on improvements. Right? Customers demand for better service. They expect more choice and more variety and customization. Technologies are changing faster. We as a country having a trouble, financial struggling, political crisis, and various other things, so that even the technology developments are stagnated somewhere. During the last few years, have you seen any major developments in this country in terms of technology? Do you think that is same for the other countries? No, they are moving fast. India, other South Asian countries and Southeast Asian countries, moving fast in terms of technology. For the industry to various others, moving fast. So China, Europe, US, right? We can't even imagine. We are stagnating here, they are moving faster. It's difficult to catch. So that is the challenge. We can't just plan, we can't just wait and see. We will get more investment. We will be able to enhance the production economy here. Will that happen miraculously? Do you have investment? No. Do you have technology? No. So what we can do? We'll have to work on new industries, new technology, new investments. Then only we can look for. That is the reality that managers, accountants, finance managers, auditors should understand. Can you understand it? That is the challenge. Now, business organizations operating in a country like Sri Lanka, they have a lot of challenges to overcome. Foreign exchange shortages, import restrictions, a lot of other risks. So they'll have to operate under those conditions in addition to these. But we can understand. In the global setup, more demand for green products, sustainable operations. Have you noticed that? They talk about sustainable supply chains now, green production. What do you know about it? Because there is a demand for sustainable green products in developed markets. Europe, US, Japan, Australia, high-end market, up-end market. In those countries, they are looking for environmental friendly products manufactured using environmental friendly technologies. Right? So that they have realized the importance of minimizing consumption. Minimizing consumption that we have not realized. We have reduced consumption because we don't have money now. Our disposable income has been very low. We all get good salaries, but tax, inflation has reduced what? Disposable. So we have reduced the consumption. But developed countries, although they have, there's a campaign to reduce consumption, to reduce environmental damages through consumption. And for that, look for green products. What they do. Okay? So factories producing green products in the sense natural manner or organic products with minimum energy wastage and many other things. Hope you can understand. So the challenges of operations managers have become extremely different now. So to face with such environmental changes, organizations have been able to respond, especially in the developed part of the world. In some industries in a country like Sri Lanka, like apparel industry, because they are supplied to the global market. They can't do Lankas. Their customers in Europe, US, and the developed part. So they have to match the requirements of the market. So they have responded nicely with these changes. Check whether you can understand, at least to get an idea. So now they believe in globalization of operations networking and use of more information technology, IT, and software solutions and systems. That's why ERP and all become important. And then of course, in services we call it co-creation of services, joint producing, customer service provider together, internet-based integration, cloud computing, integration, information sharing, blockchain. You may have heard of it. Technologies facilitate these changes. And other things like supply chain, and then of course supply partnership, supply development, environmentally sensitive designs, green designs, and then of course other things like mass customization, flexible working patterns for workers, lean process designs, business recovery and risk management. So see, there are many things. So can you understand it now? Not just making operations decisions within the operations department, but connecting the other department plus facing the competition in the market industries. So together with other managers, operations managers are responsible. Right? So those are the key challenges now. Hope you can have an idea. Any key questions? You should be able to answer some simple questions like now. We define what operations management, so you should be able to define what operations management is, how that is different from other functional areas. Right? Using the definitions, using the other descriptions. Then also you should be able to identify what are the key responsibilities of operations management with little details. Yeah, those could be the questions. So what are the key decisions, responsibilities of operations managers. Then of course you should have an idea. So what are the upcoming challenges? What are the new challenges for operations managers? In addition to managing internal decisions, what are the other challenges? You should have an idea. Now, according to these changes, now to face the changes in the business environment, most of these have been identified as new challenging responsibilities of operations managers in addition to what they are supposed to do. They're supposed to do those things. In addition to them, these are the challenging responsibilities, like facing the globalization. Working on supply chain and then supply chain partnering and all, working on sustainable requirements, environmental protection, and performing social responsibilities and ensuring ethical aspects of it, and many others. We will go through and check whether you can understand. Innovation and technology, lean operations, working on risk management, not to forget stakeholder perspective, and work on change management. If something is not clear, this is the right time to ask some questions. Feel free to ask any question. Or lean operations. Okay, we'll explain that little bit. Right. What else you want to know? Have you heard, by the way, this term lean? Have you heard of it? During the last, let's say, two to 2.5 decades, that has become one important change we see. Right? So now, hope you have heard something called TQM, right? Quality management approach. Right? TQM. Now, going beyond TQM, there is this lean concern. So this approach initially became popular in Japan. Right? So that's something to do with there are two main objectives there. One is to reduce wastage in operations. This is very important because to be low cost, to ensure efficiency, wastage reduction is important. Reducing the wastage. So that is one of the main focus here in lean. Reduce wastage. Now, in operations, understanding or defining what is waste is challenging. Now, we all know when we produce a product, like let's say any product, could be cake, could be biscuit, could be sausage, could be ice cream, or any product. Through the production process, when we produce, we call them defectives or poor quality products. For every product, there is a specification. Right? This should be the final characteristic of the product. So that specification is there. Now, when we produce a product, if the product is not in line with that specification, we call it a defective. Poor quality product, sometimes we will have to throw it away. So that's a wastage. We can do something with it, but not we can't sell them in the market at the usual price. Right? So that's a wastage in a way if we are unable to produce good quality product. Is that the only wastage? There are many other, according to lean principles, there are 7 types of wastage in approach. What they try to do? They try to identify all these different types of wastage, including quality defectives, there are many, and reduce them. Very interesting. You can learn a lot. So that is one main aspect. To reduce wastage, lean aspect. So while Greenstone, they try to ensure customer value. Both together, while minimizing wastage, how to maximize the customer value. A new approach. So now operations managers, even here in Sri Lanka, there are companies, there are factories, they have implemented lean in addition to DQA. Right? To face the cost competition. Because when they reduce the wastage, they can compete better. Right? And when they improve the quality, they can work on the higher quality expectations. And understand? That is not only in manufacturing, even services are there. Airline services, they have implemented lean philosophy. You Google it, you get more details. A new way of managing operations according to this philosophy only. The Japanese concept, Japanese philosophy, but has become popular in other parts of the world, especially US now and Europe. So likewise, any other stakeholder perspective? Okay, what do you understand by that? Stakeholders, I think you have an idea. Now, earlier, the idea was that business, the managers are responsible to who? What do you think? As accountants, as auditors, as finance people, what do you think? Managers, operations, or whatever the special operations. Who are responsible? To whom we are responsible? Hello? You're correct, yeah? Okay, initially to the top management and then to the shareholders, because they have invested in us. We are responsible for top management and we together responsible for the shareholders, owners. It's only two ways. They, shareholders, we have a kind of relationship. Fulfill each other's income. But with marketing, what happens? There's another party coming to the picture. Who are they? Not only the shareholders and top management, but the management. Who are they? Customers. We should look after their requirements, satisfy them, then only they will purchase from us, and then only we generate revenue and ensure profitability to our shareholders. So at least three parties there. Customers, internal staff, and then shareholders. This idea is stakeholders, right? That became popular during the last few years, last few decades actually. They are to talk not only these few parties, there are other parties that we can't ignore. We call them other stakeholder groups. Like what? Government and government institutions are there. That we can't ignore because they look at us, they carefully monitor us. Government institutions are there, entities are there, departments are there. They closely monitor us, our performance, environmental aspect, rules and regulation, tax, right? Customs, right? Various other legal bodies, they are looking at us. We need to fulfill their requirements also. Otherwise, what will happen? They will suspect our operations. They will discourage our operations, our business. So we can't ignore the government and government influence. What else? Who are the other stakeholders? There can be employees, employee unions. Can we ignore them? No. That managing internal staff and trade unions and we can bypass it. Right. Internal staff. Who else? Suppliers, of course. They have to coordinate work with suppliers. They have to fulfill each other's requirements. So that is another stakeholder that we have to take into account. Who else? Competitors, of course. You have to closely monitor them and assess how they are going to affect us, how we are going to attack them. Right? So we have to keep an eye on them. Who else? Potential. But if not current customers, we have to look at the other customers. They are not our customers now, but future customers. Plus the general public. Can we ignore the other people in the society? Can we ignore the people living in our area? Residents? No, we can't, because what happened to that other person? There was a protest against the factory, saying that their operations affecting their life. Can we ignore? Businesses can't ignore the civilians, the general public, potential customers. Right? We can't ignore pressure groups, environmental activists. Can we? We can't. So there are different stakeholder groups with whom we have to manage relationships, not only business and the shareholders. That approach is called stakeholder perspective. So operations managers now should be aware of it and should be able to manage relationships with all the strategically important stakeholder groups. Internal, external. That is the idea. That is called managing stakeholder perspective. 360 perspective. Our Lanka, especially significant or strategically important stakeholder groups we can't ignore. So like, how about others? Some other points? Is that clear? As we move forward, you will understand more about these challenges. Anyway, in our degree program, we are looking at the basic responsibility, not everything. But you as managers working for modern organizations should have an idea what are the current trends, what are the current challenges, and you can perform better. Right, coming to our subject, I have taken this from a textbook that nicely summarize, nicely map different areas of operations management into these key areas. So this is from Slack's operations management textbook, Nigel and Slack. The book is available online. You can Google it and find, I guess. Nigel Slack. At all textbook, there are different versions. Any version is alright. So I have taken this from the same textbook. Now, according to that, they have developed this framework. We will discuss this in detail, but for the time being, you can see there are different operations management areas. They have covered them as topics. Right? So, on the directional part of it, operations strategy and operations performance and all, and accordingly design operations systems. So topics like product design, process design, supply chain network, layout, process technology, work system, and all. So we'll have few topics for designing, to understand the design part of it. Then as you see here, planning and control, resource planning, capacity management, inventory management, supply chain management, right? Lean, quality management, project management. We will select few topics from there. And when it comes to improvements, there are few areas like operations improvements in general, as we identified, risk management, organizing for improvements and all in their textbook. We will cover at least one or two topics on that. That is how we are going to complete the content. Do you think it's useful? There is no any other subject you study these topics. So studying operations management is useful. I will come back to this slide and explain things in detail later, right? But for the time being, I will go to the last slide here and to give you an idea why students studying business degrees should complete a course on operations management. So operations management is one main function within an organization. So managers, future managers, so you should know how businesses manage operations. It's in the subject that we studied. And then we need to know how products and services are produced and supplied through various different operations activities. So we need to understand what operations managers do in organizations. And operations is a costly department in any business. So you should know how operations can be managed while optimizing the cost. So all managers, including senior managers, require operations management knowledge. So as accountants, so as auditors. So we believe business education is incomplete without operations management knowledge. That is why we have this. It's up to you, by the way, right? Whether you understand things in detail or not understand anything, it's up to you. I will try. I have been conducting lectures for several years now. Like we have Chandra Vijay, attached to the University of Colombo, attached to marketing department, but I am interested in operations and supply side of the business. I have been teaching for how many years? Around 15 plus years now. So I'm old. So I will try my level best to share what I know about it. It's up to you, by the way. If you are ready, if you like ready to understand, right? I'll try to give you a basic idea about operations management. That's what we try. Any quick questions? I'll take a small break, probably 3 to 5 minutes. You can work. I mean, you can go to the handout. After 5 minutes, I will just start and continue from here. You can stay here for 5 minutes. Jadi yang itu tuh kan di kardena jadi yang berbeda aja. Dan dalam apa itu? We started a little late, so that we probably spend additional minutes cover the content. O-levels, we can discuss this part because it takes a little longer time. Better to have a detailed discussion of this part. This is all about, now, at the beginning I mentioned to you, in operations we study about operation system. Operation system. So this is a good framework for us to identify what is an operation system and what are the components of it. The theory part that helps us looking at any business and identify their operation system and how it operates. It's good if we take a little longer time and explain it. So that's very simple. That has only three parts. Namely, operations inputs should be there in an operation system. Operation inputs should be there according to this model. What is the name of this model? This is called transformation process model. Very simple one. So in any operation system, we can clearly identify these three components. Number one, operations inputs. Operations inputs. For study purpose, they have further divided them into two categories called transform resources and transforming. So that is operations inputs. The second component, which is the main component of an operation system, may comprise of the second one, that is called, there should be transformation processes. Right. Also known as conversion, we will discuss. So conversion process or transformation process should be there. Different types of transformations. And the third component is the operations output. So these are the three components in an operation system according to this model called TPM. Then you see, this is useful. To understand it, let's quickly move to those components. The first one is operations inputs. Simply, things that we use in operations are called operations inputs. Okay. So these are the operations resources used in operations. So for study purpose, they are classified into two. One is called transformed resources. That are three types. And the second category is called transforming resources. In this model, they are classified into two subcategories. Clear? It's very simple and understandable. Now, can you understand the difference between these two categories? Transformed resources. Well, these are the things that are transformed into products, transformed into outputs. That's why they are called transformed resources. There are three types. So any of these can be converted into output. Now, one of the main things is materials. Materials. That could be the basic materials or the parts or the components used in the production process. So in which industries we see Materials being used mostly. Let me simplify the question. Do we see mostly materials being converted in manufacturing industries or service industries? Manufacturing operations or service operation systems? Materials? Manufacturing. So mostly manufacturing. So tea factories, tea leaves, materials. Garment factory, fabric and various other materials and parts. Ice cream manufacturing, dairy, sweeteners, various other tasters and other chemicals. Individual part. Can you understand it? If you go to Dumro furniture manufacturing, they use different parts, components as materials, converted them into different designs. Materials they are in manufacturing industries. Understanding? So customers, sometimes you might question now, materials we can have the customers as inputs. In which type of operation systems customers being used? Let me answer the question. In manufacturing industries or service industries? No. In service operations. Right? From operation side, we understand we process customers. Do you agree? Right. That is how we need to understand it from operation side. Now, in an education institute like this, what happens through the operations? What we provide? So, what are being processed? Students, customers. Can you understand? At hospitals, what are being processed through the operations? Patients. Patients. Airline services, what are being processed through the operations? Passengers. Can you understand it? Restaurants, who are being processed? One side of it, that is customers. They need to prepare food items, that is food items and that is material, but in dining area, that is customers being processed. Can you understand it? So in service operations, customers being processed. And some other services, they process what? Telecommunication, dialogue, mobile and all. In their operation systems, what they process? Information. Voice, data. How about your industries, like audit firms? In your operations, what do you process? Materials, customers, or information? In your operations, you process information. Various different transactions, evidences, financial accounts, you process information and you come up with the audited opinion. That is the output. From operation side, that is how we need to understand. So there can be any combination, by the way. No need to restrict to one. Any combination. So we call them transformed resources. Keep in mind, this simple framework is useful for us again and again in our topics. Very simple, but we need to know. So materials being processed in manufacturing industries mostly, customers and information being used in services mostly. But in some services, they may process materials also, like restaurants, kitchen operations, what they do, process food items into dishes, material processing. They have both. Right. And information is everywhere. Like now, give an example now, shipping lines, right? So what you mainly process more than the I mean some of your operations involved in transporting and everything, but mostly you process information through your operations, isn't so? Various different documents, contacting different parties, arranging it, processing it. Right? So your operations are mostly into information. So as in many other businesses, information processing is needed everywhere in almost all the operations. Right. Transforming resources are what? Well, they are resources, they are inputs, which are not converted into outputs. Not converted into outputs, but in the process of converting, they are used. In the process of conversion, they are used. So, according to this framework, there are two types. One is called facilities, and the other one is called staff. Write it down there. Facilities include several things. What we mean by facilities? Operations facilities. In operations management, as inputs, operations facilities include buildings, premises, buildings, premises, factories, showrooms, retail outlets, retail outlets, distribution centers, and machineries. Plus production steps also as production steps. Is that clear? It includes many things. Can we see them in the output? We can't, but they are used in production as facilities. We'll discuss later. Coming to the last category, that is staff. That means the operating level staff. Factory workers, machine operators. Now, in a business like auditing, who they are? Audit trainees, audit staff, right? Used in auditing. So it is clear now. We can identify operations inputs. Shall we quickly move to the second component? That is called transformation process, which makes the difference. Transformation, also known as conversion. Conversion. It is through these we convert inputs into outputs. In other words, this is how we add value, create value in operations. Keep in mind, there are different types of transformations, not necessarily one. Different types. In different industries, different types of transformations can be seen. And usually operations resources or inputs are converted into outputs using these transformation processes. It says here, in a given operation system, there can be more than one transformation type. One or more transformation processes that can be used to create outputs, or that can be used to create value. Right. Now, here this slide number 16 introduces you different transformations that are available. So, in different industries, we can see different transformations. Here, how many? There are 7 different. Let me make it clear. Should one industry has only one transformation? No. There can be a mixture of. But operations manager should know which one, which way connects together. Right? So let's quickly identify. Now there is physical transformations. Physical, what we call physical? Now, materials or whatever physically transformed into different. Now, in three factories, what happens? What is the input? Tea leaves. Through the process, what happens? Physically converted into pulp tea powder. Have you seen? So that is the conversion. Garment factories, fabric and other materials physically converted into garments. Right. Tire factories, rubber compounds, chemicals, and various other materials converted physically into tire. Understand? So physical transfer, where we can see them. In most of the manufacturing industries, we see physical transfer. Understanding? Right. Physical transformations can be seen in manufacturing industry. So as there are other transformations, I am not going to provide more details. Like briefly introduce you. There are location transformations from one place to another. Physically not changed, but place has been changed. Especially in transportation, passenger transportation, cargo transportation, airlines. What happens? Through the operation, the place of the item will be changed. We call it location transformation. So in the same manner, some other industries, some other businesses, there can be other transformations. Where can we see exchange transformations? Exchange in the sense the ownership of the item change from one party to another. Nothing else but ownership change. A retail business like supermarkets and other retail outlets, what they do? One might say they don't do any operations, they don't have, they have. One main operation is they have a selling option. Now, customers go to the supermarket, compare the product and select, come to the counter, make the payment and take. So in retail operations, retail businesses, we have exchange transformation. Some operation systems, they have storage transformations. Storage, in the sense they provide, through the operations, they provide the space. In this case, this is physical space, like warehouses. Have you been to a warehouse? Sometimes factories have warehouses, sometimes different businesses are there, they provide warehouse facilities. So what is their transformation? Storage. They have built warehouses, have the technology and the staff to store products and retrieve products and deliver. Have you seen? Their operations are storage. Even let's say supermarkets, they have some operations to store. Is that important for them? They need to store some amount of products on shelves in their warehouses to quickly fill the racks shelves. Right? So they need to have storage. Any treatment to human body, we call it physiological transformation. There we can see them in industries like healthcare. Right? We don't call them physical, but physiological surgeries, right? Or any other treatments. In a business like saloon, what happens? Some kind of treatment and a physiological. Spa, right? Physiological. Right? Gym, fitness centers, physiological. Can you understand it? Let's quickly complete the other two also. Uh, some businesses, some industries have psychological transfer. Psychological, some relaxation to the human mind, fun, entertainment. That is not physical, physiological, but psychological. Where can you see it? In which type of industries, businesses? Education, entertainment, entertainment. ටිකක් තියෙනවා නම් හොඳයි. හැම වෙලේම නෑ. So entertainment. In which type of industries you mostly see? Hello? Film industry, especially film theaters, theater complexes now they have. So, but they provide kind of relaxation, entertainment, and for that they have arranged every operation there. Right. From film theaters to services, everything they have arranged to provide entertainment. Very good. Film theaters, live musical events. Can you understand what is the main operation? Kind of entertainment. Active participation, dancing, singing. Right? So, not the person go in, come out. Different person, relaxation. Adventure parks, theme parks, have you been to? What they provide? Kind of entertainment, relaxation. Disney World, Wonderland. Information. When information being processed, we call it informational transformation. Like education, what happens? We have textbooks, we have theories, uh, uh, frameworks, standards. So when we discuss, so that's enough. I mean, do you get psychological transformation here? No. You understand things, you improve your way of thinking, how to look at things, how to understand. That's a informational processing. Yeah. So in educational institutes, what happens? Information. So as in telecommunication, dialogue, mobitel, and all, they process information through the operations. Hope you can understand. More importantly, keep idea now in a business there. I mean, more than one transformation can be seen. You all know restaurant. Let's say Pizza Hut. How they manage their operations and what they provide to their customers, you know. Can you relate some of these transformations and identify one or few in their operations? What is the main transformation as you understand? You see in Pizza Hut network, Pizza Hut franchised restaurants. Pardon me? Physical. Physical. Is that true? Do you agree? Yes. Because they need to process pizza, bake them in order to. So they should have some operations too. Physical transfers too. Is that the only one? In some of other operations, what else they have? Hello? Location transformation, is that applicable? Yes. they have delivery service, and for that they have different operations. Through that, they have vehicles, staff, and all. They provide location transportation. For that, they charge someone. Is that free of charge? A little charge will be added for that. But value-added service. You can stay home, things are delivered, hot to the home. Value-added service. What else? Exchange, of course. When sell over the computer or through online, exchange should be there, otherwise they can't sell. At least 3. What else? Psychological transformations. Is that relevant for a business like restaurant? What do you think? Hello? Psychological transformations. Do you visit restaurants to have kind of relaxation, companionship, enjoy time together? Of course, yes, very good. So restaurants industry, they have realized it. Very long time ago. People come out, eat out, having relaxation, fun and can you understand it? So they have worked on that. If you go to a place like now that is closed, what is it? Not Pizza Hut, the one that is closed here in Sri Lanka, McDonald's. Right. So they have separately arranged kids playing area and all. Why? To facilitate that. Kids playing area, one of the main improvements they have done, some in 1990s. Main improvement. Now, restaurants, they were entertainment. Very good observation. So even at Pizza Hut, they arrange the dining area in such a way and maintain it nicely, clean manner, right, to provide customers a different experience. That's why we people there, not some other small. Understand it? So they have nicely arranged the operations, identifying what are the main transformations needed. Great, write it down so that you can understand it. I will take only 2 minutes and conclude it. Right. Is that clear? Because there's no point starting from the beginning next week. Right. So coming to the last part of it, third component, that is operations outputs. Very easy to understand. In manufacturing industries, what are the outputs? Products, tangible outputs. Are the characteristics and everything mentioned here? What are the products, their characteristics? Right. You may go through this later. And the other thing is, in service industries, services. Right. We have enough examples now, we discussed. So products are there. Now these are called PO products, mainly products. These are called characteristics of PO services. However, now in current market, rarely we see these PO services or PO products. Instead, as you see here, we have different outputs that could be somewhere here in between. PO products are there like crude oil, chemicals, food and all, no service at all. On the other side, PO services are there like teaching, psychotherapy and all. However, most of the other somewhere in between. Can you understand? In which now somewhere here we call them core goods. They are mainly products. But some certain services like automobiles. Can they sell automobiles without any service feature? Can they sell electronic appliances like refrigerators, PCs, televisions without any service features? They can't. They need to provide free delivery sometimes, payment options, warranty, spare parts, repairs. Can you understand? So not necessarily just the product. Products with some service. So that is how the modern products are. In the same manner, there are services with some tangible items like hotels, airline services even. Can you understand? Not pure service, but somewhere in between. Service with tangible items. When it comes to here, we call it 50-50, places like restaurants. Both tangible elements, service elements are equally important. Isn't it? You go to a service restaurant, you wait there, right? So you look for delicious food items and tangible, yes, and at the same time you expect from service, friendly service, so more responsive service. Can you understand it? So modern outputs could be pure goods or pure service or somewhere in between. What is service? So most of you are coming from financial sector. What is from? So what are your outputs? That is a service, right? Professional service you deliver. That you, through the process you vouch, you do the investigations and everything. You check whether you actually have followed all the internal control procedures, standard operating procedures and everything, whether they have followed all the standards and all, and then you come up with your opinion and auditor stage. Right? So that is a service made. That is a service made. Understanding? In education? So this chart will give you an idea how in different industries transform resources and what are the main transformations we see and what are the desired outcomes. Right. We go through it at home with that we can. So what did we discuss? Yeah, this is part of the question. What are the key decisions? Why that is important? Other details. From next week, we can select one topic at a time. I will explain the assignment also next week. Take good care of yourself.